Hey guys, how you doing? I've just finished watching the game and Chelsea lost 3-2. So basically, the game is done already, but I just thought when I received this newsletter, it's a nice little look build. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go as well. Yeah, just follow along. I'm going to speed up some parts and then, and I hope you enjoy this one. Alright, so I've put my guides in place. So now the next step I'm going to do is to cut out these graphics onto their own layers. Okay, so I've got all my assets ready here. All I need to do to export them, for example, is click here and right click and say export as. Okay, so we are good to go, guys. Let's get started. Let's go into Dreamweaver. We've got a blank slate. So in here, as always, we just got a head tag with our media queries, which control how the email will look when it's responsive. Just some basic styles that you've seen over and over in other videos. And then in the body tag is literally empty. That's where we're gonna build the email. So what email we're gonna build again? We'll go for this with this look. Okay, I've done the footer in the past, so I'm not gonna build this. I'm just gonna bang in an image, but I'm gonna show you all these other bits, how I'm gonna put them together. So let's get started, shall we? Let me take a little look. So go into Dreamweaver. We need to have this image go in. So how to do that? So we're gonna do that. Okay, just set up the foundation here by nesting, which you've also seen in previous videos. So after we've done that, that's where the image is going to go, but I'm going to push it to the center here, and I am going to put an image in here, and then the image is going to be the logo image, which I got off screen. There you go. And the width of the image is going to be 600. There you go. Yeah, so by the way, Chelsea lost today. Some silly goals, really, to be honest. But it is what it is. And yeah, okay. So let's have a look. So that will be that. And then because it's 600, you might need to give a class to make it responsive. Say image, in my case, that class controls the image to be 100% on mobile. So it'd be something like, okay, not that. I have to give this one a class equals something like full. So that it's full width, and then I refresh, then you can see it's being responsive there. the image is fluid, okay? So that's kind of like what you're trying to go for. So we've done the logo bit. What's next? Let's go to Photoshop. I've got something that I want to just discuss a little bit. It's on this image, they've kind of tucked this banner image in 20 pixels, 20 pixels. Me personally, I don't like how that looks. I mean, these sections can be tucked in 20 pixels, 20 pixels, that's fine. But for the main banner, I think it just needs to stretch out, and you see how I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it just doesn't look, let me just hide the guides. It just doesn't look great to me here. You know what I mean? Like, let me just show you what I'm talking about. New layer, make the brush small. It just doesn't sit well with me around here. Just invert the colors there. Just doesn't look good to me here. Those little gaps here don't look very good for me. So unless they had put in like, let me just show you. If they had put in here a 20 pixel gap, then that would be better. So let me show you what that would look like. So I'm gonna go into Dreamweaver again, and I'm gonna, well, essentially I could have made it one image, to be honest, but yeah, let me just show you what I mean. So if I paste this in and change this image for the banner, I can come in here and paste in this part to replace the image, refresh, and I'm gonna do this. And then because it's too big now, I can do, let's just do 560, and then 560, it looks like that. Simple terms, I can just do a line center, and that's gonna give us that effect that I didn't really like. BG color, it's white, so I could do something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you get that kind of look, and in fact the BG color as well can go onto the actual main table 601, so that everything just kind of inherits that white color. So that's the look that they went for. But what I was saying is, maybe if you do something here like style, padding, top. So if you do padding top, something like 20 pixels, see that is maintaining some sort of let me click away. So that is kind of maintaining 20 here, 20 there, 20 there. But then again, looking at it, not really loving it. But so yeah, let's get rid of that. And my preferred look would probably be something like making this image 600. Okay, so if it's 600, look how it looks. It just looks correct, like it just flows correct. If I click away, I'm trying to click away, I don't know why it's joking. So yeah, everything just looks correct. It just melts in together with the logo. There's not that little stupid 20 pixel left and right. It just sits correct, you know. And so we compare that to this, you know, this little indentation that they've done here. I don't prefer it that way anyway. But again, it's a personal preference sort of thing. No big deal, right? So let's just carry on and let's see where we are. Let's see, so we got that. I can get rid of this here since it's on the table tag. You can do something like this on the image. And you can do border. Yep, something like that. Okay. You can just copy that and put it on the image tag above as well. Okay, so yeah, that'll be that. All right. What else? Okay, so under this section, I'm gonna nest. So I'm gonna go TR and then Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna nest a table, then back, align center here. And what I'm gonna do is give this something like 90%. And I'm gonna come in here and hit lorem. And okay, you know what? I'm gonna copy this. Maybe not so good. All right, let's not do that. All right. Okay, for the heading, this will be that. Do a style here. Font size, something like 30 pixels. Line height, like 36 pixels. Padding, top, something like 20 pixels. You know, just push it away from the top a little bit. I'm gonna align center so that the text sits in the middle. And with that, I am gonna go into Photoshop to get the actual color for this text. So if I zoom in, I can use the color pick tool, then you get the Chelsea blue theme color. You go back to Dreamweaver and you can actually use the color £, paste the number we copied, and that should be in there like that. Okay, if I hit save and let's see, what else do I need? I can actually now copy this, come underneath and do I can do padding. You know what, let me, before I do that padding, I can just see, maybe font size 16, line height 24, get rid of, okay, let's just stick with 10 for now. Font family, I'll do Arial. Okay, refresh. It's looking like that, but the color of the text is different. Let's go to Photoshop, zoom right in, color pick this color, and it's 20. Go to Dreamweaver and change the color to there. And I am going to hit lorem to get the dummy text in, and it looks like that. Let's compare it with the Photoshop file. Okay, right, there you go, something like that. Okay, I'm okay with that. And then we got to do this button, but then this section has got a different background color, so I can copy that and come into Dreamweaver and look for this section and do BG color £, of that. And if I scroll down, you can see we've inherited that color there. So it's coming together, yes. If I click this again, maybe let's just stick to what Chelsea have done here. 560, just indent it, leave it the way they wanted it, and we get that. Let's go into live. You can see, if I click away maybe. Okay, trying to click away. Right, so you can see we got that little gray background. We got the image centered here with the little white indentation left and right. And you got a logo at the top. And if I squish it in, it will still be responsive for your mobile screens. I still think it looks great, actually. Yeah, well, you know, so that's the thing about design and looks and feels. sometimes you kind of look at something, not like it initially, and then it can kind of grow on you. So not so bad, it's all right, considering. Yeah, we got that going. All right, fine. What's next? Let's have a look. I would like to have some padding underneath this section. Let's have a look what it looks like in Photoshop. So yeah, they've got some 20 pixel gap here. So I'd like to add that in and then add the button in. So to do all of that, I'm just gonna click this bit here, and where it says padding top, I'm gonna come after that and say padding bottom. And with padding bottom, I'm gonna give it like 20 pixels. It should be fine. And then after that, I am going to hit that TR so I can see where it's finishing, and then do another TR underneath. And inside, I am going to nest the table. So when I nest the table, I'm going to push that in. And this one, I am going to align center, give it a width of something like maybe 200. Let's see how that goes. Okay, maybe something like watch live. I don't know what the button is saying. And let's see where we are with it. Okay, something like align center. Okay, we're gonna need a style for show in there. Okay, and we're gonna do font, family. We're gonna do Arial. Okay, let's go ahead and change to Photoshop. Here from, yeah, basically, I need to copy that. I'm just gonna stick with Watch Live. Go to Dreamweaver. On the button itself, I'm gonna give it a BG color of £, the number that I copied. Refresh. Okay, I didn't need the semicolon at the end, that's why it's looking green. Get rid of that. Refresh. Then we get the blue color in here. And do a color for the text so that it appears white. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There you go. I'm gonna need some padding, and I'm gonna do it like I always do it. 0 pixels left and right. How are we looking? If I scroll up a little bit, there we go. And we're looking good. So I'm gonna, well, there's two ways of doing it. I can do a padding bottom here. Or I can just do a TR. Actually, I'm gonna do a padding bottom. Style, padding bottom. It's going to be something like 20 pixels, and we should be good underneath that button. So yeah, we've got a little bit of room underneath that button. Yeah, so if I click away, actually I can even do 30 since the last element in the paragraph, in the section, just to push things a bit further down. If I go into live preview, you can see where we are. We're looking clean, we're looking good. I'm sure if you're to send this to a support, they'll be like, oh, okay, watch live, they'll click the button, you know. Yeah, we're just gonna quickly move on because I don't want to waste too much time. So we got this section here, left and the right. So obviously it's a 600 section. We're gonna need to do math to divide 600 by, well, 600 minus the 220s left and right. That's gonna give us, let's have a little maths, 560 divided by 2. Let's do that. And then we should get 280. So if we work with 280, we're gonna get a split, but we need something like maybe 10 pixels or something in the middle. Let's see how we're gonna play that one. So okay, that's fine. I can make this image 270, add a 10 in the middle, and then push the rest to be 280. So yeah, we just play with that kind of mathematics basically. So let's go into it quick. Go into Dreamweaver here. So underneath this section, I am going to say look for it Right, so underneath this bit here, I'm gonna start in a new section, and it's a TR, and I'm gonna pull this back, and then after I pull that back, I am going to nest, okay, because I'm trying to get that left and right section going. So if I pull this back, what I'm gonna do is actually align center first, and then I'm gonna give this a width of 560 like we talked about in the calculation that we just did, and then I'm gonna give this one a width of, if you remember, I said 270, and the one underneath is gonna be a 10 pixel gap, and then the one to the right is gonna be 280. So yeah, just that number and that little max that I'm trying to go with. Okay, so those are my 3 sections. So this one's gonna be 10. We'll see if that 10 is enough of a gap. I'm going to go with 280 on this one. So these numbers split and added in whatever they match 560. That's why the layout will work perfectly. So with that in mind, we also need to have a 20 pixel gap right above. So here, let's see how I can do that. I can just actually use style padding here. Padding top. Of 20 pixels, okay, so that we get that white spacing at the top. Right, so now let's come into here and add in the image tag. All right, so I can actually just copy this image tag, right, and just refresh, click the image, and instead of this number, I'm gonna give it 270 like I said, and that image is gonna sit left like that. Oh, but it's not that image that I want to use. It is this image that I actually want to use. So let's just replace the image quickly, right, like that. And then the dimensions are a bit off, so I'm gonna go back and put 270 in there. Right, hit the lock icon to lock the aspect ratio, and we're good. All right, we're looking like that, and now we need to work the right side. But before I do that, this one needs to be responsive, so I'm gonna do a class of DB and DW. If you know from the course and from the other videos what that is, that makes it responsive basically. Some classes that are tagged into the media query, so that basically makes your section responsive. And I can add them actually to these other bits as well. Okay, so DW being display width makes it 100%. DB making display block, which means it just pushes everything left and right. Okay, and I'm gonna paste that there as well. And then I'm gonna give this, because I want this to be a height spacer on mobile, so I'm gonna give it a height of 20. Which doesn't affect desktop, but it does affect mobile. So yeah, we've got that little gap in the middle there that I wanted. And then in this section on the right, let's see if we can add in all this content basically. So where are we trying to do? Let's get the brush tool. So now we're trying to work out how to do this section. So basically, we've got this section here, which is 270, and obviously this one's 280. We've got a 10 pixel gap here, 10 pixel gap in the middle, and it's all looking good. So now what I need to do is to basically think how I'm gonna do this part, and the button. So once I get all those elements in, it'll be sort of like, sort of easy to do this section because it'll just be like a duplicate. Obviously it's left and right there alternating, but yeah, it'll be like a duplicate. So I've also noticed we've got this little gap at the bottom, which is like a 20 pixel gap. So I'm just gonna add that in right now. Go back into Dreamweaver, and where I said padding top, I can actually do this now. Top, bottom, left, right. Right, okay, do that. Which means we're gonna have some sort of 20 pixels at the top and 20 pixels at the bottom as well. Come into here, and I'm gonna add a table. Let's have a look here. Right. So let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna do v-align top as well, so that it pushes the section to the top. And I'm gonna add in the heading in here. So I'm gonna reuse some elements here. Let's see. Okay. You know, to be honest, it is literally a duplicate of this. I know it's might seem like how, but it is. So copy that. I believe I've copied the right stuff. And if I come in here, I can just grab this TR and just paste. And then you see what we actually got. So I just need to tidy up and fix it up a little bit. But essentially you can see I've just reused elements from above. But it works as well in this sort of section. One thing that I'm noticing, it looks good center aligned, don't get me wrong. But I think it's left aligned in here. So yeah, everything is left aligned. Okay, so we're just gonna go with the left aligning that they've done. Let's see, back in Dreamweaver. But there's some paddings that I have to get rid of, like this padding top 20, I don't need it. Let's see if I get rid of that. How's that looking? Alright. Maybe because that section doesn't need to be, so the heading can be chopped down a little bit to one line, and the copy in here can just change up a little bit. Okay, something like that, you know, for your little section. Maybe I could actually use let me just see where I am. Everything is all over the place here. Yep, everything is all over the place. My indentation basically. So if I click the table tag, I can see where it finishes. Actually, let me go into code view, because yeah. Okay, so I just need to indent this bit here so that it lines up. So that's better. So yeah, the table starts there, finishes there, that, and that. Okay, great. So yeah, we are positive. We're moving in the right direction. But I just wanted to add a pattern above. Sometimes it's nice to work in this code view because I can just not need to scroll up and down. Looking for the heading and looking for this bit here. And I'm gonna do style, pattern top, the same pattern top that I removed, I'm putting back in 20 pixels. Okay, so that the text just kind of moves away from the top, and this kind of pushes down. So you can see that it's kind of like sitting in the center, sort of like of this image. So yeah, and yeah. Looking good. Let's see. Okay, let's see what's happening here. 516 is a class. Okay, full 90 or something like that. Refresh. Okay, then it's responsive. I can give this one a class of if I have it in there, PT 0, something like that, to get rid of the padding. I don't think I have it because I want to get rid of this padding top basically. So maybe I might need to put it in PT 0. Do I have it? I've got padding I got this one, but I don't have the PT0, so that's why that's not triggering. So I can just add another class to my media query to control that on mobile. Okay, refresh, and it should. Okay, it's not doing it. Let's see. So class PT0, and it's on the wrong place. Okay, it's supposed to be on the 280. So okay, I'm gonna just put it in here, PT0. Okay, refresh, and there you go. So that kind of looks a bit tighter up there, whereas before the 20 pixel padding that was happening on desktop was influencing here and it was pushing down, but now it cancels it, so the padding on the image is kind of looking more tighter and nicer and consistent. So yeah, there we go. So obviously we've got this one little chunk created. To create the other one, we'll just duplicate this section and paste underneath, and let's refresh. You'll see what happens. Oh, we got two in there now. But the first thing we need to pay attention to is the color, because we are now doing we're working on this section now. Okay, so first thing you'll probably notice is the color here. So if I copy that, and if I go to Dreamweaver, basically I can paste that in here. So BG color, #, I paste, and you can see that that happens. So we got it's pretty nice. It gives a little bit of separation in terms of color. So you got the white, and you got the gray, and then you got, yeah, the sections looking like that. Actually, preference, like, it's up to you. You can even have an email that looks like this with stuff on the left. But then again, sometimes it's your preference. So what I'm actually gonna do is, okay, let's see here. You know what? I'm actually gonna copy the third image. No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna change this image actually. Okay, change it to that, and then go into the code. Let's go into code view for now. So I need to just swap around the way they look. So this one needs to be on the other side. If I cut that out, I am going to put it above here. Okay, and refresh. And I am going to put this one, the spacer, here as well. Okay, and I'm gonna save and refresh. So basically that would look like this. So if we go into, yeah, so basically that is that. But then the thing is, when I go into sort of like making it responsive, you'll notice one little thing that happens is that we now have this go above and this go under, whereas normally the desired look is to have the image above. So, but in this case we're having it like this. Again, you could get into situations where people actually want to display like this, but for consistency I need this image to actually stack so that it's showing above, not what it's doing right now. So to do that, let me have a look at the situation that I have. So I believe if I come into this table and Okay, not there. Okay. Right, on this table, if I do direction equals left to right, rather right to left, and then on these TDs I can do direction is equal to left to right, and collapse that. Right, I'm gonna do the same basically. Direction equals left to right, and again on this one, direction right, like that. So that flips them, but that's not what I want. So I'll cut that out and paste it back underneath here. You can see what that is doing. So if I take out the spacer and put it underneath that. Right. So we are back to where we started. But the moment of truth now is it gonna stack above as what we discussed? So let's push it in. Okay, so somebody viewing it on iPhone or something like that, there you go. They get that experience where the image is stacking on top, which is just sort of like the desired flow. So that was that. So we pretty much hit the home run here. I can add in, let's see, there we are. I can add in, bring this up. Okay, so many gaps in here. Make it a bit tighter. Right, there you go. So under here, I can just do another TR. Remember I said I'm not doing the footer, so let me just throw in the footer image here so that you just roughly see how the look would be. So if I do img, add in the footer image. Of course, this would be your homework. You need to code the footer. And then obviously the footer has scaled proportions greater than great here. If we make it 600, then everything kind of gets back to normal. And you can see it works. So yeah, but yeah, that's your homework. If you're class, if you're following along, make sure this footer you code it. I'll explain what you need to do to code it, but if you also have watched previous video, that should be easy for you. And yeah, just make it responsive one time. Let's see what we got going here. Yeah. So essentially that will be the desired look where everything just scales in like that, and people can get to click the buttons and stuff like that. But yeah, for this footer section, homework guys, homework. If you're serious about email marketing, here's your homework. Let me get my pen, my brush tool. So essentially what you need to do is you need to think about, okay, I've got this section, right? Change the color, something like red. Right, I've got this. Okay, I've got this section. Okay, right, I've got this section, and I need to figure out a width for this box. So that's the number one thing. You need to figure out a width. What is the width? Is it like 280 pixels? Is it like 200 pixels? All right, so you need to figure out a width for this box. But the width is kind of like influenced by the actual elements. The actual elements that are in there. So what's the width of this logo? Like the Twitter logo. All the widths for this collectively, if you add them up, they should be equal to a number. Okay, and you also have to factor in space gaps. You have to factor in gaps that are between. Okay, is it like 20 pixels between the actual images, like here? If I do B here, I'll make the brush size small. This gap here, what is this gap? Okay, that's important. Is it like 20 pixels? Okay, if it is, that number also has to be factored in into the calculation. So you add that 20, and you also add in this 20, and you also add in this 20 because it's pushing away the element. So if you have 320 pixels, so 20 times 3, you do the math, that should pull 60 pixels. So this is just for the spacings. So the spacings basically are just like giving you 60. Let's move away from red and look for something more easygoing, maybe like a green or something like that, because red was looking very money heist, gunshots, right? So yeah, so you got your 20s in between here, and then you actually factor in like what is the size of this logo. And if you're in Photoshop, you can just use a marquee tool, and you can see the numbers that are on the right there. It's 56, 52, you know. Okay, so that's, you can use that as a guide as well. Command D to deselect. So what am I saying? I'm saying you need to, you need to figure out dot 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 dot. So you need to figure out this box. What's the width? When you figure out that, you need to then put it into like a TD. And when you put it into a TD, you have to align center, because you can see that it's actually centered, you know, left and right. It's being pushed inwards so that it's actually centering. And then obviously under that, you create another row to hold and contain the text. When you get to the text, let's get another color, something more different, contrasty. So when you get to doing the text, you have to think, what is the font size? Okay, what is the line height? Okay, those are things you have to think about. And you can see that the text itself is not, it's got color to it. So you would have to ask yourself then, what color should I use? Okay, and you can see here, this link has got its own custom color as well. So you have to think, okay, that color needs to be included. All these links have got like a text decoration, of underline. Okay, it's things that you have to actually work out. And obviously you can tell that the text itself is centered. Okay, so that's also something that you have to kind of like think about. So I'll leave you with that, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Of course I didn't do this part but I'm sure we've covered a lot of ground for you to be able to figure out how to do this, because it's literally a duplicate of that. So yeah, I'll leave you with that, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. And if you have, consider leaving a like on this video, and maybe share it as well if you can. Drop us a comment, and if you haven't watched the course, maybe it could be good for you to watch the course as well. But if you can't watch the course, no problems. All you can do is watch some of the content that's on YouTube right here, because everything really teaches you so that you can become an email developer. So with that being said, Chelsea lost today. How did they lose? Let's see, what was the score? The score was Chelsea 2, West Ham 3. And as you know, I'm a Chelsea fan. Boo. But anyway, that was that. I'll catch you in another video, and thanks again for pulling up today to learn. It's always great to see people wanting to learn. So yeah, see you in the next video, and take care. Thanks for watching to the end. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button. It really helps. Thanks.